Guys, I need to tell you something.
What?
I'm talking to the moon.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. So today we are going to be ranking all of the Star Wars movies.
Yay! Let's go!
This is just our opinion. So, like, if you guys think otherwise, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
We can all have different opinions.
Yeah, that's how
Exactly.
the world works. So
Even the three of us might have different opinions.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have a very, because like I know with Shivali, her favorite trilogy is the original trilogy, and then mine is the prequel. And I don't know about Kylie.
I'm a enigma.
She's an
Yeah,
enigma.
she's not like other girls.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go through release order, by the way.
Wait, my favorite's actually DN.
What?
DN?
Yeah, DN.
What's DN?
These nuts! Oh!
Shut up.
I got it! That's so stupid.
I'm not gonna react to that.
No, I'm not
Anyway.
reacting. Can we? It's better than bad, right?
Wait, what's that one?
A New Hope.
I don't remember.
A New Hope is like,
guess
I
it's
would say
good.
it's good.
You'd say it's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Not very good.
No, I didn't really care too much.
Yeah. Like it was, I think I was more excited for A New Hope just because I watched the prequels. Because I remember when I was really young, I was watching A New Hope. I watched like 10 minutes and I got bored. So, so I think the prequels played a part in me liking A New Hope, being excited to watch it, you know.
Return of the Jedi. This is the one where Luke finds out who his dad is and he loses his hand, and we meet Lando. And the kiss happens between Luke and Leia.
For that, I'm gonna put it in bad. Return of the Jedi. I think it was. I
remember we liked it a lot more.
Yeah. Either like very good or insanely good.
Okay, I mean we can always rework this. So right now, do you guys want to put in very good or insanely good?
We can put it in very good.
Okay, because like when I think of these movies, like I don't have any strong opinions on the original trilogy. Oh wait,
feel
this
like
is the
because
wrong
all,
one.
like-
Sorry. This one.
Oh
This is
no, that's the Empire.
Yeah.
The Empire Strikes Back. Oh, The Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I thought you were talking about Return of the Jedi, and I was like,
what? You're so dumb. I literally said the one where he finds out who his dad is and he loses his hand.
I saw Return of the Jedi, so then I got confused. Okay, never mind. Then you can put it in insanely good.
Okay. What did you like about Empire?
I feel like the pacing was really good of that movie. And like other than the incest kiss, we saw like more of Leia's character, I guess, and her romance with Han Solo. I don't know, it was good.
With me, I will say like I did like Empire, but I liked Return of the Jedi a lot more than Empire personally.
And like I know a lot of people probably like Empire a lot because that's when he found out that Vader is his papa.
But which movie?
But that wasn't a plot twist for us. But like it was still like a really iconic scene and like a big reveal.
Yeah.
Which movie was the one with the like 10-minute or 20-minute boring ass scene with the Wookiees?
This one.
I think that
Return
was
of the Jedi.
There you go.
Yeah, with Return of the Jedi, it definitely had like the lowest of the low, but it also had the highest of the high, which makes it a difficult one to place.
Yeah, for me, the reason like I liked Empire more than Return of the Jedi was because the pacing of Return of the Jedi was kind of slow.
Yeah, but Return of the Jedi also had the scene where we finally got like Vader and
Redemption. Yeah. That was nice.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Okay. So I'll put it in insanely good. But like I'll put it behind Empire. It also had Endor and that whole planet, which is kind of boring.
Yeah.
But overall, like I would say it was like it comes close, I think, with Empire just because of the highs. Next we have Phantom Menace. I really like Phantom Menace. Like I don't know why, because like I know it's like I think, controversial.
I don't know. I think with the prequels, I definitely enjoyed the last movie the most. Like I love that movie.
Yeah, me too.
The second one for me is the one that's weird. For some reason I like the first one better than the second, and then I like the third the most.
I personally like, but like I'm also trying to think of like actual quality of the story, and like I've analyzed Phantom Menace, right? So
Yeah.
like I have like with Phantom Menace, I think the story in Phantom Menace is very strong. Like it is like very political, like centered, but I think it's like a strong story, and it's a really good it's like foundation for like the rest of like the saga, because it is like the beginning of the story.
Yeah.
And it does a really good job, I think, at establishing the Sith and the Jedi, the political issues in the world, Padme and Anakin. So for that, I would put it above A New Hope.
Okay.
Would you put it in good?
I feel like putting it like, I think it's a very good movie personally, but I feel like that might get some people mad. So what do you guys think?
Who cares if it gets people mad?
For me, like I didn't really pay that much attention to the Phantom Menace, but then like when I heard like Isabel talking about it, and like I read some of her essay and stuff, because she like analyzed it and stuff, I kind of like I started seeing why it was like actually a really good movie. Because I didn't like, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't paying a lot of attention when we watched the first movie, and I do regret that. I do want to rewatch the Phantom Menace, but I'm like the same as Kylie. I like the first one because of like after reading the analysis and stuff like that. I would say the first one was like better than the second one, but I love the last one. The last one was my favorite because it was the most shocking to me.
Because also like the prequels, like because you said earlier, is the prequels are your favorite. They're my favorite too. Like in a to answer that question more seriously, rather than whatever the fuck I said before. But yeah, I like the prequels the best. So they're up higher than a lot of the other movies. But also like the OGs, like I don't know, I just feel more connected to the prequels because they were the initial ones, and now we're watching Clone Wars. Like
to be honest, yeah,
because
like
they're just characters that I knew better personally before even watching, just because I knew about this show and I knew about like Anakin and stuff.
Yeah, for me, I feel like I do love the original trilogies, but I love the prequels just as much because they were my
we had the most fun watching them.
Yeah, and they were my first.
Like, they're our first.
They were my first like experience of Star Wars. Like that was like my first step into getting into Star Wars. Yeah, they all had like their good,
and
except
Lego
the sequels.
Star Wars.
We don't stand the sequels.
Yeah, and then every time I played Lego Star Wars, it would be the Anakin era.
All right, so as we kind of agreed on, like episode 2 is probably the weakest of the prequel trilogy. Would you?
Because like Padme and Anakin, they're cute and that. Like I like them. But like I don't know like what it was that maybe it's just because it was like the introduction and then like the really highly anticipated end to it. Plus I just really liked the end because it like of Anakin turning to the dark side. The middle movie was kind of just like the transitional movie.
Like I loved a bunch of the scenes in the movie. Like I liked the arena fight. Where like
the arena fight. I like that.
Yeah, and then I did like the romance parts a lot, and then I liked like the scene where like I liked the whole series of scenes with the mother and like her death and the effect of that on Anakin. But like I didn't really care for Obi-Wan's storyline, like with Kamino, like that planet and like the weird ugly aliens and the clones. Like I didn't care.
And also I feel like the prequels are very iconic. Like you can quote anything from the prequels.
Yes.
You know?
I love the prequels so much. But like even though I love episode 2, it's probably the one that I would watch the least out of the three prequel movies. What do you guys it's better than bad.
It's mediocre, yeah. I'll put it
mediocre.
Yeah.
You put it in mediocre? Okay. Guys, I think we know where this one is gonna be going.
Because this is just all
Let's
around.
go.
Like, it's just my favorite.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Watching it and
Let's
like
hear.
watching Shivali's reactions to it is the most memorable to me.
And then we got like the most iconic fight sequence of all time.
The fighting scenes in the prequels are beautiful. I
love
so well
them
choreographed.
So much. Better than bad.
Shut up.
Bro,
Just
shut
put
up.
it
Put
in
it
the
in S tier. Come on.
I actually think they're dog shit. You got that category. Yeah, maybe there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like we just said that we love this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, time for. You know what? Sequels. I like the first movie. The rest, I was just bored.
Yeah,
I just didn't care.
So you thought it was like a solid beginning. Like,
you know why
I
we
feel
liked
like
the first movie? Because it was like A New Hope.
like I feel like with the first movie, it did have like a lot of potential for a ton of storylines, but because there was no plan made, then there was no setup. Like in theory, there was setup. Like Snoke was a setup. Rey and her past was a setup. Like a bunch of things were set up, but there was no actual like intention behind anything. Like there was no actual explanation thought out for it. So it was really just there. It was just made without an end goal in mind. And because of that, then you get sequels like this that feel very disconnected. But I would say that this was a good, like I would put this in good.
Yeah,
it was a good movie.
Also, like, there are people who thought that we loved the sequels because we made a lot of sarcastic comments talking about how good it was. But yeah, that's what they were, sarcastic.
Yes, they were sarcasm.
Sorry.
But like, to be fair, we're just being very harshly analytical. And like, if you watch these movies as like separate things, they wouldn't like. It's like with like what that thing you showed me earlier, Isabel, with like Atla and Korra. If you watch them thinking about Atla, then you're gonna see Korra is like weaker, like to some people. But then if you watch it as like a separate entity within the universe that isn't like as affected by the prior stuff, then it gets better. So that idea I feel works with the sequels kind of, but then even then the continuity between like the 7th, 8th, and 9th episode was kind of whack.
Yeah. Like there's nothing actually like stringing them along, and it's
Yeah, I agree with everything Kylie just said.
Me too. So we got bottom of the barrel movies now.
Bottom of the barrel.
But if you do like these movies, it's just like
it's fine if you do.
Fine.
This is just our opinion.
Because like the thing is like, I sat down and watched them, and like I watched the sequels before I watched anything else, and I enjoyed them. Like I found them fun, especially when I didn't like know any of like the prior stuff or how it like invalidated prior things, you know, or anything like that. Like when I watched the sequels, like I enjoyed them and I thought it was interesting, even though I had no idea what was going on. But I just found it nice to watch.
The sequels were also like the first Star Wars movies that I watched, and I watched all 3 of them in theaters, I'm pretty sure.
Same.
And like I watched the last one last year in January with my family, and I remember leaving the theater like thinking, like feeling satisfied, you know, like obviously like in the movie there were things that I was very like iffy about, like force healing and like Anakin not showing up, but when I left, like I remember talking about the movie to my family and saying like, oh, like I think that this is like the best that they could have done with what they had. But like now I've had like time to think about it, and now I disagree with that. I do think that it could have been a lot better. But
some of the best people like to work on this. It's like, just write a fucking continuous story.
Yeah.
Think about like simple creative writing, like beginning, rising action, climax, and then, you know, with a movie it's gonna be a little bit different obviously, but just think about the continuity and like think about the prior works and how it affects like if you're changing anything, what's it called? Retconning anything, just at least it makes sense. Because like certain things, like what the force healing, if force healing existed this entire time, like the fuck Anakin could have done it or some shit, unless it was just like a newly established thing. And it's like, well, the force has been around for like what, millions of years, basically thousands of years, however many years. And like with Rey, she learned it in a book, like, and she just did it one day, you know, like I'm pretty sure it was her that did it first, right? And then Kylo learned it from her. So it's like, why couldn't have? Did other Jedi, like, was it like a secret thing that Jedi weren't supposed to know? Is that why they didn't do it before? We don't know. There's no explanation given for it. It's just, oh, now you know. If it was something like a secret Jedi thing that like none of the Jedi knew about, but she managed to, you know, learn in a day, of course. Like, you know, like at least give that kind of explanation. Maybe they did, and I don't remember, but I also think they didn't show her learning it.
I don't think they did. I think she just did it.
What the heck?
I think like the sequels, like Kylie said before, if they were on their own, they could have been like a good series. But at the same time, like we talked about how the sequels had like really good visuals and like the CGI was so much better and you know all those things and stuff like that. So it could have been like it could have gone really well. And like I think like the sequels aren't good because you guys said that you did enjoy it when you first watched it, like without any other context. But also I wouldn't say that the sequels are a masterpiece, you know, like they're normal. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Like they don't have a lasting impact on you the same way that like the original trilogy and then the prequels had.
And if you like think about it, these movies, they came out like we didn't watch them in order, and I also did not care at the time. Like I just went to watch it because it was Star Wars and it was coming out and it looked cool. So like the continuity errors, they didn't register in me. I didn't care. Like I was just watching the movie and be like, oh, that's cool. Like I didn't think about like, oh, like that didn't happen in the other like movie, blah blah blah, because like it happened in like a year in between each movie or whatever, right? Or two, I don't remember. So like it just like had a different, like as you said, impact. Especially because like when I watched initially, I didn't care about Star Wars. I just watched it to watch it because, you know, big name.
Okay, so
I don't like the middle movie. It dragged on for so long. I like the locations, but like it's either mediocre or bad. I don't know.
Bad. Because I feel like it was also like the movie that took the most risks in terms of like its tone, because it went for a very comedic tone throughout the movie and put like a lot of humor in it. And like that's brave, so I'll give it to Rian Johnson, the director, like for taking risks. But it for a lot of people, the tone didn't register with them, and it didn't like they didn't enjoy it. So I think that there is a way to create a movie that varies in tone and have it still like register with the audience. Like for example, like Kylie hasn't watched Thor Ragnarok yet, but it's a very humorous film, and it's very different compared to the other movies in the Thor trilogy movies. Like the other ones are very serious and they have like a darker tone, versus like Thor Ragnarok, which is like a huge spectacle, and it took even greater risks compared to the Last Jedi, but it still worked. In theory, it was really cool that Ryan wanted to try something new and I think like reinvent Star Wars, but it wasn't executed well, because I think that this movie is probably like the most boring movie of all the Star Wars movies.
I know a lot of
people
try
to use comedy to cover up the mistakes.
Stop. I know a lot of people do enjoy episode 9, like the last episode.
Yeah, the 9th one, I think it's a cool conclusion. It just like what did it conclude?
The 9th one, I think, takes place a couple of years after The Last Jedi, and that's another thing. Like The Last Jedi is a direct sequel to The Force Awakens. Like they take place like in the span of a week, and then we have one that's a time jump, and so it's really weird because at the end of The Last Jedi, you're left with Rey, who's, you know, like whoa, like with her powers, she's just discovered, you know, just how great her powers are, but then the Resistance or the Rebellion, I don't know which one it is basically dead. Like there are like 4 people left, and then they all run away in the Millennium Falcon. And so like people kind of expect, you know, like this story that was set up like between in this week to continue, but like we get a couple years time jump, which is fine. Like all of like the Star Wars movies tend to have time jumps, but then we never really get an explanation for like the previous cliffhangers, like, oh, what happened to the Resistance, or like, oh, like what's Rey gonna do now that she doesn't have a lightsaber, or like, oh, like what's gonna happen between like Hux and Kylo, since they are kind of like rivaling for power, for like the supreme leader.
Hux a spy. Which doesn't make sense. He literally like led a whole like, didn't he have that whole like fascist speech that had very like weird imagery? and then destroyed multiple planets, and then he's there like fine executing that. I guess like if you're a spy, you're a spy.
So I would put this one probably in mediocre.
Mediocre.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right, so this is our list. We've got, so in order of like best to worst, we have Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, A New Hope, The Force Awakens, Attack of the Clones, Rise of Skywalker, and The Last Jedi.
Also, Saz, I keep getting movies wrong. It's because I'm painting right now. So
but don't worry. I just can't tell what's happening. I'm just going off like what I'm just listening.
Yeah.
I can't tell which movie cover belongs to which, except for like The Last Skywalker or whatever it's called. I just really don't understand how they messed up with the sequels. Just write it's a story. You could have gone simplistic. That wouldn't have been a problem just as long as there was continuity. So in the comments, obviously you could say whatever you want, but we do discourage people from like just blindly hating on one another.
We understand A New Hope and how revolutionary it was. Like we understand and we respect it, and we're grateful for it. We understand the pedigree, yeah. But we also
I don't even know if I used that word right.
I think you did.
Okay, I think I did too.
But in this pedigree, it is fifth. It just means that A New Hope, that the movies just kept getting better after A New Hope. That's all we're saying. Because
you also got to consider a lot of these opinions and how much we liked certain stories is how attached we felt to the characters, or how much we like the characters played a big part too. With Rey, I didn't feel as attached to her as I did to Anakin. I liked Anakin a lot. He's probably one of my favorite characters, partially due to Isabel, but mostly because I watched it and I liked him and I like his story. And then with Luke, Han, Leia, I liked all of them too, but I just felt more invested in the prequels because there's this whole Darth Vader thing that was happening, and Shivali didn't know about it, so we were kind of just like, ooh.
Yeah, like we would talk about it like behind her back and be like, I wonder when Shivi's gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
I figured it out 2 seconds before Palpatine said Vader.
But I just want to say, like, even the sequels, like, even though we rag on them a lot, I like certain things a lot. I like certain characters a lot. I love like Finn and Poe, and I love Kylo a lot.
Poe.
Yeah, I love them, and even Rey. Like, I don't hate her. I just like find her like as a like narrative.
I just don't find her as interesting. I don't hate.
Yeah, she's not as compelling.
Compelling.
Yeah.
She's not as compelling.
But you know what? She can still be my queen.
Shut up.
Exactly. She's still a hottie thottie, and she still has like qualities about her that I like, but just like narrative wise and like how she fits into the story, it doesn't work completely.
I hope you guys enjoyed this tier list. Let us know what you guys think of our ranking, and then tell us what your ranking is. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.